Yo, I decided to finally get myself a premium ship, and honestly, after checking them all out, the only one that really appealed to me was the Murmansk, since it reminded me a lot of the Omaha. So I've now played about, would I say, 26, 27, something like that, 26, 27 games with it. And honestly, it's a really fun ship. It's very much like the Omaha, as the stats say. Like the Omaha beats it by having a bit more DPM, but on the other hand, this guy has slightly better range, or actually a lot better range, and slightly better torpedoes. But then again, the Omaha has more torpedoes, so it's kind of a trade-off in playstyle. But ultimately, it's a good ship. Like most of the wargaming premium ships follow a certain pattern. They are never better than the same ships of the tier. They are usually just different. Like they have strengths and they have weaknesses, which is something I actually kind of like. That there's no pay-to-win ship that you can just pay and become and be amazing with. And don't even try to convince me that the Atlanta is OP. It's far too weak to even be considered a pay-to-win ship. Anyway, this game against the usual tier 5, tier 6 stuff, tier 4, mostly tier 5s and 6s, and one tier 4 actually. And basically shows how the Murmansk, different ways you can play the Murmansk and how it shines. First of all, here you see the difference between the Omaha, the range. The Murmansk has a 14.8 kilometer range, so I'm gonna slow down calmly here and get behind this little rock and just spam HE on him. I'm no longer detected, and as you can see, the accuracy even at this range is very good. So I'm able to stay hidden and basically constantly spam fire on this New York, who I've already set on fire. I got detected now, so I'm gonna start moving. Oh, it's gone again. Anyway, the fire chance is 12%, and considering the fact that you can usually shoot with 6 to 7 cannons and the ship all the time, it actually ends up being a really good fire bringer, especially for tier 5. So this New York is basically backing off simply because of all the HE pressure that got put on him. The Cleveland joined in as well, so he decided to back off. Oh, another fire just before left, so he's pretty much fucked. But on the left we have Omaha, Cleveland and Furutaka. Well, Furutaka, if you don't know it, the Furutaka is paper. As you can see, I already switched to AP shots. Even though I'm more than 10 kilometers away, the 152mm cannons on the Furutaka, just like the Omaha, can easily pierce through his armor. And there we have our first Citadel and big armor pierce, and he's already at half HP. The Omaha is shooting me, but he appears to be using HE. A common problem or mistake that low tier cruisers do is that they constantly spam HE instead of switching. And this Furutaka is simply melting because he's giving a perfect broadside, and I'm just using AP on him, so it just basically destroys him. That's another Citadel, which basically hit his engine room and broke his engine. So this will be a very quick deal. I'm not afraid of showing broadside to this Omaha, since I know that he's not using AP. And he doesn't even seem to be shooting me, he's focusing on the battleships instead. Try to finish the Furutaka so I can switch to the Omaha. Okay, I didn't kill him, someone else finished him, but it doesn't matter. You get the XP for the damage done anyway, so, or the percentage damage done, so it doesn't really matter if you get the kill or not. That's why I never understood why people make such a big deal about kill stealing. It doesn't really matter. If you did the damage, you'll still get more XP than the guy who stole the kill. And now, of course, still using AP against this Omaha. Again, a Citadel. If these guys were smart, they would use AP against me as well. Double Citadel on him. Because these 152mm cannons with rapid rate of fire is basically just completely wrecks other cruisers. But most cruisers they're basically so used to the HE spam, because HE spam is pretty strong. But against another cruiser, AP spam is even stronger. And that's something they often fail to understand. Of course, I try to angle my ship as much as possible now, so he doesn't get the easy shots on me while I basically destroy him. I think I've gotten like 4 or 5 Citadels on him now. Oh, he's still alive. 61 HP. Wonder if this kill is gonna get stolen as well. Nah, this one I got. He got the last HE salvo on me. Now, the Cleveland, I'm still actually keeping the AP shots, even though the Cleveland is a much trickier citadel to hit and a bit trickier to penetrate. But I reckon that I don't really want to get into a HE battle with him. I hopefully want to finish it as fast as possible. Oh, he's hiding behind a rock, but as you can see from the minimap, he was pointed straight against the rock, so it's going to take him a while to get out of there. I think, is he going to back away from there? I don't know, but I'm keeping my ship angled, because I'm afraid the New York will pop out, or something else will put a Fuso. I might shoot from there. The Fuso has insane range, so I'm constantly making sure my ship is angled. And of course I want to close the distance, because we'll make it a Cleveland easier to hit. Now, what else about the Murmansk? Well, that's exactly the same HP as the Omaha. They both can use this rather weird configuration like I'm using now. If you look at the bottom left, you can see that I'm actually able to shoot at all 5 turrets in the front, which is a total of 6 cannons, which is a huge strength that this ship has, is that you're able to bring so much firepower to bear even while sailing straight towards someone. You have to be right in the middle of the front of the ship to be able to do it, but you can bring all 5 turrets at the same time. The middle turret is a 2-gun one, so you bring 6 guns to bear. So like you saw there, I sailed straight towards him, closed the distance as fast as possible, but still brought heavy DPM on him. Now I'm talking in chat to these guys. We have, as usual battleships of this type are very, very scared to advance or to push, so they do like this New York, that's all the way in the top left corner, that's just basically hiding and very afraid of move. It's a bit of a shame, but it kind of happens when basically they push up once or twice and they get torpedoed, and then they turn afraid, and then they're afraid to push up, and that's basically what you get. Speed wise, pretty much exactly the same as the Omaha. Detection wise, pretty much the same again. Again, this is very much like an Omaha. The only difference is that even the torpedoes are very much the same, except you get longer range torpedoes, but the Omaha gets more of them. In this case, a Fuso is about to pop out of that little gap in front of me, so I'm using the torpedoes on both sides. Now I even get to do a prediction shot, which is always nice. And once I've shot those, I'm obviously gonna angle my ship again, because you don't want to. First of all, I don't want to get close to the Fuso, because he can just blast straight through all my armor, regardless of my angle. And second of all, I of course want to angle my ship so I don't give him any free shots. And the idea is I'll be able to shoot him and then duck into cover before I even get detected. Yeah, I only got 2 hits. I was hoping to get more hits than that and maybe a fire going. But it's not a big deal. My torps are looking pretty damn good. Oh, one hit the edge. Oh, but I got 2 hits. And these torpedoes actually do quite a bit of damage, as you saw. That's half his HP gone with 2 of those hits. You can see his movement. I got flooding, but his movement is still fast, which means he instantly repaired it. That will mean his repair is now on cooldown. So ideally, I now want to get some fires on him, quickly get a couple of fires burning, and then duck into cover. That's 1 fire. I want to get some fires going and get into cover, because then I can just hide out of line of sight while he basically burns to death, and he won't be able to deal any damage. He made a cardinal mistake. He started turning before he shot his guns. Oh, 2 fires. Now I can just hide. I'm just going in behind his hill and just gonna let him burn to death, because he's got 2 fires and there's nothing he can do to stop them. It's basically my kill. Oh, he got killed? Yeah, it was the New York. Basically the New York Citadel, which was a shame, because the idea there was to, after he had used his repair, I get the fires burning and then I just duck into cover while he burns to death. But that kind of got screwed. The Fuso made a big mistake that you often see battleships do, is he started turning before he shot his turrets. He should have shot me first and then started turning. But because he turns faster than his turrets turn, once he started turning he could no longer bring his turrets to bear, so he ended up not shooting a single shot at me. That's something you see also on cruisers when people play, for example, the Furutaka, like cruisers with really slow turret movement speed or turret turning speed, then you see them make that mistake. Now, once again, I'm using the terrain. I'm not sure what this New York is doing, but he's basically never able to see me. I'm constantly undetected while I've put him on fire like 2 or 3 times already. This is basically just cooking to that far here. I'm not even certain what this guy is doing. But he's not repairing the fire, so he's pretty much dead. He's absolutely dead. That's 3 fires. His health is going to be ticking down very quickly now. As you can see, the accuracy on the ship is very, very nice, especially against any big targets like this. They only have 3 ships left. This is going to turn out to be a rather short clip. I didn't even go over the consumables. I of course have the better repair, the so-called premium repair, that costs 22k credits, because it reduces the cooldown on the repair from 90 seconds to 60 seconds, which in my opinion is well worth the investment, especially on a premium ship where you don't really have any costs. The hydroacoustic search, or whatever it's called, it's complete garbage. I barely ever use it because, well, I mean, it's supposed to help detect your torpedoes and destroyers, but I think it's bugged or not really working as it should, because I generally find it to be rather pointless. I'm using the same trick I told you about earlier, is sailing straight towards this guy, and I can bring all my cannons to, or all 6 of my guns to bear on him, and I'm closing the distance very, very quickly. So I'm able to help my fellow Minakaze very quickly. And last we of course have the spotter plane. And, well, that's another thing. I mostly use it just to troll like battleships. I put it up and then I try to set them on fire. But it's also kinda it's not really a big deal. Ideally I'd want to switch the hydroacoustic location to defensive AA fire, like you should do on all your cruisers. But because this is tier 5, I can't use it. It's only for tier 6 and above. If you could use it on this ship, then it would be really OP. So basically, the other consumables besides the repair are pretty questionably meh. They're not really anything special. Which is not really surprising, because if they were really powerful, then of course it would be OP, and so far VG have seemed to avoid the whole pay-to-win thing in this game, which is actually quite nice. Now it seems like this Cleveland is going to run. This was a bit of a crushing victory, really. Yeah, the Cleveland is going to run, which means I'm just going to fast forward. And we're back. And the game ended. 473, almost 474k. And of course a lot of XP. I topped the XP for my team. And the damage looks like 110, 115k. Not really anything special, but it's not really that hard to get a lot of damage. But this is the really special part. You see my auto repair and ammunition costs? They're combined under 10k. So all this money I made, 473k, 10k for costs, and then my repair, which is another 22k, so I end up making 440k profit from just one game, which is basically the reason why I really, really like the Murmansk.